Don't blink, it's your Blink. Welcome to our show. Guys, we're doing well, having a wonderful day. I know it's super late, but we're actually working. So you're gonna see this where we're filming the moon and we're filming the tower. We're filming the tower. We're filming this. We are also, you know what? It could be better if I did like that. That better? Yeah, it's a bit better. It is a bit better. I'll close the camera. Filming the tower here, and we're uploading clips to both TikTok and YouTube. That's what we're working on. So I was like, you know what? Let's film some videos. Let's film some freaking video, bro. Yes, I'm using a pot of mayonnaise as a stand. I don't call myself clever, but hey, who else does this in the biz? So today we're talking about falling in love with working out. And this is a video that I'm so happy that we're making on it's 13 April 2025. I keep on saying the dates because I'm tired of I'm lazy. I feel lazy. I feel like I don't care about putting the date on. So I'm trying to say the date so that way I don't have to do it after. And they're talking about falling back in love with working out. So again, there's this whole history and this whole meaningful, possibly back lore, if you will. But what inspired this video? So why we're making this video is because, well, we've been working out for 2 weeks, and I've been really getting down with it. I've been really excited about it. Of course, it's tougher because I'm 32 years old. I'm getting older. I'm an old man. I'm a fucking boomer. Most of you guys watching, I could be your father or your mom. I don't know how it works. I don't know how this works. I'm gonna go back with how much we love working out and why we stopped. And as a kid, my father had a couple of weights laying around, and those weights were very small. My father, if you see my father, you saw my father in videos, right? He's not the toughest guy. He doesn't have the most musculature or the biggest build, right? As the gaming term. But he had some weights, and the fun thing about those weights was he was letting them in the basement. Now, the basement is actually a really special place in my mind. So in my father's place, we had a basement. Now, the sad thing is, the basement, he doesn't use it anymore, and it's become such a mess because they're not using it. Him and my stepmom. But it used to be my sanctuary. My sanctuary now, where fears and lies melts away, music will die. A little bit of a Kingdom Hearts, because why not? The basement was my sanctuary for a couple of reasons. The first reason why it was my sanctuary was because it was cold. So the coolest thing about the basement was, back in the days, which was the 90s, you could have a fireplace working, and it didn't matter how much space you had. You can have a fireplace working. So the winter, it was super warm, and the summer, it was super cold because it was in the basement. Fun fact: when it's the winter, when it's really cold, basement is possibly the best way to go, because the dirt around you will protect you from the change in temperature. That's why it's cooler in the summer, and it's cold. It's hotter in the winter, right? Make sense? I hope so. So there you go. Okay, I found it. Good. Perfect. So then, what ended up happening? I'm sorry I'm working here, but it doesn't take a lot of time and it doesn't take a lot of effort. So let's fucking do it, right? Oops, what happened here? Said I fucked up. So the basement was the place, and the basement had a TV, and that TV, I'm sorry to say, was garbage. And now I know what you're saying, dude. Is the 90s still? But there was this channel called YTV. I don't know if it's still called YTV, but it was Dragon Ball Z, and I was watching Dragon Ball Z. And Dragon Ball Z, they had these fighters, and these fighters were supposed to save the world, and they all were built. So I would watch Dragon Ball Z and work out, and then it was just a fun thing to do. And then what ended up happening was I kind of fell in love with working out. So it's a bad story. It's a really bad story. So with my father, my stepmom was always doing a diet, right? Was always doing a diet. And then what I would do when I was younger, I could always lose the weight. So I would spend 2 months at my mom's house, or a month at my mom's house for summer break, and then I would gain a lot of weight, right? and I would gain a lot of weight. And the reason why I would gain a lot of weight was because I was able to eat whatever I want. And then because at my father's house, by the way, I was at my father's house 12 days out of 14. So when I say my stepmom had a diet, I was on a diet for the longest fucking time, and that sucked. But I was able to always lose the weight until um, I think I was 17, and I ate a lot, and my father was like, "Hey, this is your last year at high school. Do you want to have a good memories?" So my father got me a membership at the gym, right? And I started going, and the fun thing was there was a couple people going at a gym, and this was possibly the best. This is possibly the biggest accomplishment in my life, for reals. And I know what you're saying, Ink. Your channel is amazing. You did so well, but this is the second biggest achievement. The first one was to lose over 50 pounds, to have almost a really, really, really good body, right? And then it was also cool because people from school were going there. So I didn't have really a social life outside of the school, because I was at the school, people were also going there. And the fun part is I lost so much weight and I got such a good build that people were going there because of me. They were saying, "Hey, this is the gym you go to." And they were asking me which gym do you go to. They were asking me to train them. And this was the first time where people asked me for help. I was always the weird kid. I was always the kid that was that you couldn't rely on, right? That was my story. That was me. Um, and then that changed for the better, thank God, but for the better, right? And then so I really fell in love with it. And then I would go to the gym a lot. I would skip classes to go to the gym. I would go every single day. And you know what's weird? You know, life will give you hints about the future, right? I would go every single day of school. The weekend I wouldn't go because I didn't want to go alone, right? Then at 18, my father kicks me out. It's like, well, you have to work or you have to go to school. Otherwise, you're kicked out. So my mom takes me in. I lived at my mom for 1 year. I become obese, right? You guys know the story. And then I become obese, and it's bad. So I go back. Then my mom kicked me out because I'm an asshole. Did I deserve it? Absolutely. But then again, so I gained a lot of weight back on, and now I don't have a gym membership. So then the situation at home is kind of messed up because I'm constantly being pushed to find a job. But at this point, I'm morbidly obese. I was still 5'4", no surprises there. I was 240 pounds, which is more than right now. Right now we're 241. We're gonna weight ourselves tomorrow because again we're doing a weight loss challenge every single week. We weight ourselves. But I was weighing 271, right? But you saw me. I was morbidly obese. I never been this fat. So people would see me right now. I don't want to be a dick. And again, people are gonna think I'm fat phobic. I'm not. I'm fat too. Hello. But if I was to look for a job, people would look at me and it's like, dude, it's a physical job, bro. Are you sure you're good? And they won't take me, right? So I went to my father's house and we lost some weight. And those were possibly the best moments of my life because, again, I was playing emulators. I was eating like a king. I was working out, right? And we really fell in love with working out there. Because when we first worked out in the high school, it wasn't because I wanted to. It's because it was so important and it was part of my popularity. Most of the friendship that I had back then was because of the gym. Most of the good grades that I had was because of the gym, because the gym made me tired and I was sleeping well. So I used to have ADHD medication. And the ADHD medication doesn't allow you to sleep. Well, it does, but not so much. It leads to insomnia, right? Because basically what's going on is, okay, so I'm not a doctor. This is all alleged. This is my understanding. Please don't flag this video. So the medication for ADHD, it's more of a stabilizer, right? So stabilize your emotions, but you still have this energy. This energy doesn't disappear, right? So instead of constantly being in a position where you're spending energy, you're in a position where you can control it, right? It's still there, so you don't sleep. Ritalin was horrible. My very first medication was Ritalin. Horrible. I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't sleep. It was horrible. I would have fucking died if I kept it going, you know? Probably not, but still, you know what I mean. So then, what ended up happening is, I go back to my father's house. In the high school, it was because of that. But my father's house, I was like, okay, well, let's lose the weight. My father kind of gave me a ultimatum. Like, hey, I'll give you till this date. and then you really have to move on with your life. I'm doing this for your good. So he gave me a year, and I knew I could have lost the weight in a year because remember what I said? Well, it took us a year to lose the weight. So I would spend day in, day out working out. The situation at home wasn't good because I wasn't really looking for work. But then again, he gave me a date, and that date didn't include me looking for work. So he gave me a date and said, hey, you need to work by then. He never specified, okay, well, you need to apply it every single month. So I kind of cheated my father, I kind of cheated the system, and we did that, which is not cool. Don't do it, please. But we did. So then what happened was I was working out, right? And it was fun. It was fun because, again, I had this liberty. This was the best time of my life. And it's crazy to think about that. It is insane to think about that for two reasons. The first reason is I was in my room. My room, you guys saw my room. I filmed it in videos. It was small as shit. But I had everything. I had the radio, I had books, I had my emulators, I had Wi-Fi. So we would spend days working out. And it was really good workouts, right? Because that's all we could do. It was a jail. It was a jail cell. It's a self-made jail cell, but it's still a jail cell. Most people, when they go to jail, they'll pick up the weights. Just because it's boring. I guess. I never went. I've never been. If you've been to prison, let me know in the comments. No judgment, please. Thank you. So we went to this jail, and then I went to the apartment. And in this apartment, it's weird. It's really weird because in this apartment, we were also working out, but the apartment was weird because I had this liberty. It's like there's 1,000 things I can do, but I don't have to work out. And then the apartment, it became kind of a chore. So we just finished a video on multitasking and how it feels like it has to continue. So the workout that I did at my father's house before I came here was a lot. We were working out 4 or 5 hours a day. And when I came here, the first thing I wanted to do was work out. So that's why we had the gym, a gift from Carl, fucking love you, Carl. We had all of the training equipment, right? And then I was like, you know what? And I was broke as fuck. I told you how broke I was. And I remember spending, I think it was 120 for 40 pounds. My father telling me, hey, this is a waste of money, right? And my father finding in a dumpster 30 pounds and give it to me. Like, you see that I got them for free. So good memories. And so when I came in, it felt forced. It felt like a chore. At my father's house, I was in jail. At my apartment, I wasn't in jail anymore. So it didn't matter how much or how little I worked out. It wasn't a jail, right? So then what ended up happening was I kind of fell out of love. Then we gained some weight. We picked it up. And then what also happened was, give me a sec, from the point on of having an apartment, we started working. I want to reach the hour. Let's do another video. Let's do a night core, the 13th April 25, part 2. And I just want to show you the moon. Because it's beautiful. Please don't call, I wonder why. Then I have. Look at this. Beautiful. Isn't it? There you go. Sorry about this, guys. So we also had like physical job. I never worked in an office, right? I was working in workshop and warehouses, which was very physical. It's like, okay, well, I can still lose weight. And then I came to the job that I had, the 7 years job. There's time you're gonna see this time when I'm saying 7 years. There's time when I'm saying 8 years. Because sometimes I think, I don't know why, I think I have to count the year I went with the agency, temporary agency. Sometimes I think that I have to go with the years I was employed. I don't know. I don't know how it works, and I'll never know. Because some people will say 1, some people will say 2. First option or second option. And so them, they really cared about me. They really cared. Like, I can talk shit up how much. I can talk as much as I want about this other job. They fucking loved me. They fucking loved me, and it was mutual. So then, they really wanted me to lose some weight because I was overweight. It's like, hey, work out, and I did, right? And they were so proud of me. But then, there was this case where I'm not complaining. I'm very grateful for what they did, but it was also this case of they felt, it's complicated. It's complicated. So when I was working there, I was working very physical, right? I was still eating chips. We never stopped really eating junk food, and because we never really ate junk food. We never stopped eating junk food. It was never a problem because at the same time I was working hard enough for me to gain a little bit of weight, but it wasn't that bad. So for example, because we would eat chip, we would eat chip every 2 days, every 3 days. So it was not that much. But then what happened is they I don't know if they felt bad for me. I was the youngest, so it was Romanians, and in Romania there's just this big culture of you're a kid, we treat you like shit because it's respect your elders. It's respect your elders, but it's always like they take care of the kids. So they would make big meals. And I have to shout out Nico. Nico, one of the fucking, he was a gem, this guy. And Nico, he felt like a bigger brother to me. He always defended me, always was nice to me. And he came in, and he would always cook a lot. And he would cook a lot knowing that there would be some leftover. And then they would tell me, and it wasn't funny. I'm not even joking. He was making, we were 15, we were 12, we were 13 or 14. 13 or 14, and he was cooking for 20. And then he would say, at least you have meal for next week. But then he would tell me, oh, you need to finish this by Wednesday. I'm a 1 meal a day kind of guy. So he would push me to have 2 meals, right? And it was great food. Admittedly, it was great food, but I still had this craving for junk food. So what I would do is I would eat the meals, the 2 meals a day. Then over the weekend, I would go over crazy over the junk food because I didn't have any, right? I was an addict. So then we regained the weight, and then I went to the apartment, and then this job closed, right, as you guys know. And then we didn't work out because we were working on making content, right? And then, like I told you guys, we got up the stairs because I live at the 4th floor, and because we live on the 4th floor, there's I don't know how many stairs there is, but there's a bunch. So we had to get up the stairs. I was tired, dude. I was fucking tired, dude. So that was bad. That was really bad. But then, slowly but surely, of course, we ended up doing the right thing. We ended up being okay. And because we ended up being okay, it didn't really matter if... This doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't really matter how fat I was, right? And then there's instances of last year wanting to lose some weight. But it was never, like I said, and I said this multiple times, I wasn't motivated. I wasn't... So, not necessarily bullshitting, but only flirting with the truth. Only touching the tip of the iceberg. Let's touch tips. So what ended up happening is I told you guys it didn't work because I was always so I didn't have to pay bills. When I say I don't have to pay bills, there's a specific meaning to it. I don't have to pay bills to anyone. I don't owe anybody. So I don't have this accountability, right? So I don't have this accountability to succeed. And people were like, hey, dude, I'm so happy that you're losing weight. I would give up, right? And now, with this one, we really went in. And it's nuts because, if I'm being completely honest, and again, I don't think I ever talked about it, but I didn't want to talk about it. I did not want to talk about it at all. I was hoping to keep that a secret, but then we're on the subject, and you guys have been listening to a lot of my stories, so you deserve a little treat. The whole thing about wanting to lose weight is kind of bullshit also. So over October, right, I was depressed. And we left depression in February, right? And I was like, I didn't do enough content. So I think, again, we were doing the shit minimum. I'm filming a couple videos a day, right? And I'm working on some other stuff, right? Doesn't matter if it succeed or not. I'm just going to do what I need to do. So we do that, and at the very end, what ended up happening, which sucks, is I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm back, I need to do something big because I want this to work. And then the weight loss was the best thing, right? And the weight loss was the best thing. And then, almost by a sign of fate, we're seeing a guy called Baha. I don't know his full name, but he's an influencer on Instagram, and he also was fat. He also was really fat, and I decided to lose some weight. And then lately, his content sucks. I don't have anything against people that smoke weed, but that's all he talks about. That's all he talks about. It's always about weed. And I was like, fuck, dude. But then he showed a treadmill, the one we had. And he actually was really cool. Like, you know what? I'm gonna buy one, and that's why we're successful, and that's why we're doing some training. But for the first time in a while, this is the first time where for 2 weeks and plus, we're going to work out. I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Sorry, peeps. I ate some shin ramyun, and they're spicy AF. So we had to take care of that. So like I was saying, this is the first time in almost a decade. Well, not a, no. I was 23. Almost a decade. Almost. Let's not say a decade. Let's say almost a decade. That I've been working intensely every single day, right? And we're falling back in love with it. And I forgot how good it was to work out. Now, why are we falling back in love? I don't know how I felt about it first, right? I don't know how I felt about it, right? But I think, because again, I'm getting older, right? So it's a lot harder. Like, for example, we used to be able to lift some weight, but at the same time, I'm kind of cheating on the weight loss. Because we had such a good body when I was younger. I had such a good body. And my body had a muscle memory to it. And you kind of wants to get back into this prime. The brain and the body only have one goal in mind. That is survival, right? So my body will remember how good it was to be at this weight, how strong we were, how able we were to defend ourselves, right? And then you're just executing stuff. So you're just continuing. And when you're working out, you're going back to this body, right? Because your body's like, hey, I remembered you being there. You're taking the steps there, right? So it's like never forgetting a bicycle. And your body will remember that perfect weight or that body. So with that being said, it's a lot easier because I had this body. But still, at 22 years old, it's a bit harder, right? And I don't remember when I was... I think when I was young, it was part of a routine. I think I loved working out, but I think it was part of a routine most of all. I think it was mostly, oh, you know what? We worked out because we have to work out every single day. That is the goal here, right? And if we don't work out, well, we miss a day, right? There was a day where I was kicking myself in the balls. Well, literally speaking, but still, we had to work out every single day, right? And because we were working out every single day, we were able to achieve results. But it was more so, I don't think, see, I'm a weird guy. I'm a very weird guy, but because we never had this confidence about the way we look, we didn't need to reach a certain level of physique, as they say in the douchiest of gyms. It was just about, staying active. And again, it was a really good way to control the hyperactivity. Right? In high school, I was taking meds, bad, for ADHD. And the best result that I've ever had for the tests, right, was in grade 5. Now, technically speaking, my mom was giving me tutors that helped, but it was also the fact that we were working out. So even when I was in class, I was so focused on listening to what the teacher was talking about because I was so exhausted. I was like, I have to listen to what she's doing. I can't move. Or I'm too tired to move, right? We never slept better. So I think it was part of the routine. I think subconsciously speaking, I think when I was younger, I understood how good it felt to work out, right? And that's actually a really good point. That's actually a really interesting point. I think my body understood how good it felt to work out. And I think without thinking that I need it, it was beneficial, right? But then when we were happy, when we were doing something else and we were happy, I think the need versus the want to work out left, because that workout wasn't on purpose. It wasn't purposeful. It was, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do it because I want to do it, versus I need it. I need to do it, right? Which is very different. Very, very different. So I think that's what happened. And now, because we're working out, for example, the day I finished working out, and today was a harder workout. And again, it's weird. I hate to say it, but I think it's because we're getting older, right? And I keep on saying this, I'm getting older. You guys are going to think, oh, he's complaining. I'm not complaining. It's just that I was able to achieve a lot more when I was younger. And it feels weird because I remember those times. I remember how much I was lifting. I remember the workouts, right? Let's just say that I had a previous channel on YouTube that was about that. Let's just say, right? This channel doesn't exist anymore. Go fuck yourself if you're looking for it. So yeah, so today we had a workout and it was really hard and it felt really good because again we surpassed ourselves. For the first time in 3 weeks, we were having an exercise where I wasn't able to do it. I was doing lateral raise and I wasn't able to do it with high weights. And that felt phenomenal. That felt so good. That felt so good. Because I'm like, holy shit, you're really putting in the work, right? But then at the same time, it sucks because you weren't able to do it. So what do you choose? That's the problem, you know? But then the joy of working out, today we had for the first time. So you see, it's really weird because during the 3 weeks of every single day working out, there has been a climax every single day. That's thanks to you guys because you guys are super helpful. Then on day that there's less people there, I sweat a lot. So when I sweat, I'm like, okay, well, this is orgasmic because I'm getting this training in, right? And then I'm getting this training in. Then there's this. I'm sorry, I'm horny, so I'm gonna talk about fucking. But there's this almost this weird feeling of, we did something really good today because we sweat. It's a physical response to effort, right? Physical response to effort. I'm tired. I want to sleep. That's not good for the phone, for a tablet. Did we break it? No, not even. Thank God. Because I would be pissed. So, yeah. And then we had today where we had both people in effort, but it was a different kind of feeling because it's a feeling of, holy shit, we accomplished so much today. It was a really good workout. And that's why I remember how good it was, And I think purposefully, we're talking about purpose before. I think the purpose is to have a good result. I think the purpose is, I'm not working out to work out. I'm working out because I'm enjoying it, but I'm working out also to get results, right? And I feel like it's a douchey thing to say, but at the same time it's the truth. So like it or not, that's the way it is, right? And of course that sucks because in a perfect world, you're in a position where you actually want to put in the effort just because it's the right thing to do. Just because you should be fighting or actually at the very least, aiming for a healthier lifestyle, right? Make sense? Hope so. So that's basically it. Today was a really good workout and we're falling back in love with it because. And it's funny because I'm going to contradict myself right away. It's really fun because, yes, we're achieving results. But it's really fun because you feel like you did something good. And it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable to say, you know what? And it's nuts because we are such a different feeling. I remember doing 10, 12 videos, 15 videos a day. And feeling tired and feeling fatigued and feeling happy. Right? And then we work out for an hour and we got the same feeling. So... It's very different. It's very different when the mind works less than the body, right? And that's pretty much it. So we're falling back in love because it's fun. We're falling back in love because something that we find meaningful. Thankfully, it's starting to be fun again because at the end of the day, I know I'm doing it for some reason, and you know what? The reason is what? The reason is to get healthy. A. The reason is because it's content that everybody can enjoy. B, it's content that people can be inspired by. Do I need to inspire people to be happy? No. Would I like to inspire people to be happy? Absolutely. That's the goal. That is the goal. Absolutely. I think your aim in life is to do that. And I don't want to be negative, but think about it, right? Your parents. There are two people giving birth to one person, right? It took two people, right? And you're one person. So you have to do twice as good. Otherwise, you did only good enough for yourself, and you did good for one human that took two humans to sacrifice. Understand? So yeah, it's just the feeling. We felt like an orgasm, and again, I'm horny, so that's no more talk about sex. But it was just fun. It was just really fun. It was really, really fun. This feeling of accomplishment, this feeling of we're tired, this feeling of we're sweating, this feeling of I put into hard work, Technically speaking, I was going to come back to filming videos, right? Technically speaking, when we film videos, yes, it's hard work, but there's not directly a... So, for example, I'm going to do something that I really like to do. And that something that I really like to do is going to be meaningful because I really like to do it. Versus I'm going to do another subject that I kind of want to do, right? But I'm not sure about wanting to do it. And what is the difference? Well, one of them I really want to do, so it's fun. I don't see the time pass. And one of them I feel like I need to do it, so it's less fun. But at the same time, we're still pushing in the boundaries of the want and the need. So we're finally reaching a place, and I think that's the easiest way to say it. That's the easiest conclusion you can do. I think it's a question of I want to work out versus I need to work out. And I think at the beginning it was I need to work out. And I think it's slowly becoming I want to work out. I think it's slowly becoming that. But now the really odd thing with that is when the want, it's not a sure want, because I'll do anything in my power to delay the start of the workouts. I'll do whatever it takes. And then today we took a break because I had to do a video. But I took a break, and I took a break of 5 minutes. And when I came back to working out, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to work out, which is stupid, but is the truth. You know, why did it happen? I don't know. I don't know. I was tired. But hey, we still actually do it, and that's, I think, more important than not doing it. So there you go. Falling in love, back in love with working out.